I think one point I think that was not really made clear to the senators was that we actually have quite a lot of data showing effects. And so a lot of time people ask, well, we don't have enough scientific information to make any decision. And well, on the other end, people will say, well, there are hundreds of papers published, and the majority of these papers show no effect at all. Okay, those are not true. First, we have quite a lot of information on radio frequency radiation and cell phone radiation. That's one thing. Second, most of the data, at least half of the data, show effect. So it's not true that the majority of the data show no effect. Lots of time when you listen to the industry, the comments is that the majority of data show no effect. That is not true. Unless the people who publish it, I don't know.
They were saying basically that there isn't enough data to make policy on it. And you're saying there is now.
Mm-hmm. Well, depending on what policy, I think for precautionary approach on limit use of cell phones or limit exposure to EMF, electromagnetic field, I think at this point we do have very strong indication that we should do it.
Carrying on with that, I know that 9 years ago when we interviewed you, you were saying chronic exposure to low levels may be just as harmful as a short exposure to high level. And now
we have a lot more data to indicate that.
Can you talk about that?
Well, so that was 9 years ago when we talked about this, and at that time we found data that this is experimental data that you expose an animal or cells to high intensity radiation for a short time will produce the same effect as a long duration, low intensity exposure. So the intensity and time can trade, right? So now, but in the last, well, at least 10 years, there are well, as far as I know, there are 53 publications showing that very low intensity radiation or fields can cause effect. At that time, we would say, well, it's impossible to see the effect at this low level. But now we do. And we have paper, well, there are 53 peer-reviewed papers indicating that the effect occurs at very low level. Particularly the study on, for example, on cancer, lymphoma, in people who live close to radio tower, AM tower and broadcast tower. And those people are exposed to very low level, but radiation for a long time. So it's like sometimes can be 24 hours a day. And there are several studies showing that they have, people do develop leukemia, a type of cancer. So long-term exposure at even very low intensity can lead to harm, health effects.